Hello guys, welcome back again. This is Political Monday. Today we're going to talk about the forces that are shaping our world. And the bold question of today is, can bad leadership be more deadly than wars? It might sound shocking, but history shows that corruption, negligence and incompetence have claimed more lives than bullets. Stay with us as we dive into the evidence. Wars are visible. They leave battlefields, headlines, and history books full of numbers. But what about the deaths caused quietly through famine, mismanaged health crisis, and failed policies? Or leaders who hold power, ignore science, or misallocate resources, or sometimes deliberately cause human suffering on a mass scale. And today, here with my colleague Okaru, he will dodge more into the evidences and more examples of how bad leadership has claimed more lives.
Right, Mambia.
Yeah.
Historically, we have where bad leadership, cases where bad leadership have outshone wars in terms of massive casualties. For example, take Joseph Stalin of USSR, the old USSR, which is now known as Russia.
Yeah, the Soviet Union.
The Soviet Union.
Yeah.
While World War II was devastating, we have historians, taking into account that purges, forced labor camps, and famine under Joseph Stalin's regime killed tens of millions, arguably more than the deaths caused directly by the World War II, right?
Yeah.
Now, during Mao Zedong's China, there were more than 45 million deaths caused by starvation due to the Great Leap Forward policy, whereby China wanted to be a modern nation. But at what cost? The cost is 45 million people died, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, bad leadership in modern history now isn't just about history. In recent decades, poor governance during epidemics, natural disasters, or economic collapse has had devastating effects. For instance, look at some of the cases of COVID-19, which happened 2019 to 2021. Right?
Yeah.
You see, some of the policies that people in leadership positions got to implement caused more death than should have.
The entire pandemic.
For example, when we have Trump of the US. When Trump of the US said that COVID is a hoax, he led the US citizens to believe that the COVID-19, as much as we tend to think it wasn't real, he led them to believe that it was a hoax, and most of people didn't get to there too. They set guidelines. Now, that is one classic example of bad leadership. Let's get into Kenyan context. You remember when our own Kasongo said that there is not gonna be El Nino,
and we ignored it. It was last year.
Yes, it was last year.
Yeah.
The meteorological department had already predicted, but the leader in power insisted that there isn't gonna be such a thing. What was the result?
Even the funds allocated to the disaster management counties in the counties, even some governors are already eaten the money, and they are already squandered. And when when the real disaster occurred, it caused a catastrophic effect. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Omambia.
Yes.
You see, let's talk about why some of these things get to happen.
Yeah.
You know, why does bad leadership kill so effectively and so effortlessly? Some of the reasons are here with us.
Yeah.
Number one, I want to talk about lack of accountability. You see, this person in power ain't gonna feel that he's gonna be looked into.
They want to be held liable.
Yes, they're not gonna feel like they're gonna be held
Liable.
accountable. So they make these decisions thinking that they will get scot-free. And in our setting, the African setting,
yes,
most of them do, right? Citizens get to die because of bad policies put in place by leaders in positions. The other second reason why massive deaths occur under bad leadership is because of suppression of
information.
Tell us about suppression of information.
Suppression of information is whereby you are denied access to information from the government or the media, and also even they can distort information. For instance, whereby we hear that when these leaders want to pass laws, they pass laws without public participation, whereby the public are not aware of the law being passed. That is an example of suppressing information, because if the laws are being passed and they're not punitive laws, for instance the cyber law crime that is in present, which is suppressing information, whereby the government can access your data without even knowing. That thing has led whereby citizens were not aware of that law being passed. That means that the information was not available in the public domain. It was suppressed. I didn't know that bill was there until when it was passed. That means that the information people are not having from the public domain was not there. And that is a case scenario of how bad leadership has affected us.
Now, on the same note, Omambia, suppression of information.
Yes.
I want to talk about specifically the June last year protests, whereby we, the Gen Zs, had to oppose and reject in totality the finance bill.
Yes.
That was a policy that had been formulated and passed by the current regime.
Yes.
What happened? We went to the streets. The current regime, led by Kasongo, sent us killer squads. Yeah? They sent us snipers on top of rooftops to take out harmless citizens who were expressing their disappointment in the policies that were being managed. Now, the other utterly astonishing and more than disappointing note is that the deaths that occurred during the protests were underquoted due to suppression of information.
Yes.
There were more than 160 deaths in the streets. But what was the information given out?
It reported that there
were around 60 people died.
Yeah.
You see, suppression of information. And then, when you had to take videos and photos of those deaths and abductions and tortures, you were summoned, or rather you would have been tortured too or abducted, so that information doesn't get to the public
domain.
Yes. I think this and other scenarios get to misinform about the actual casualties that get to undertake the suppression of information and policies that are made to injuncture the citizenry. Now let's go to the third source of why this bad leadership can be so effective. Resource management. You see, food, medicine, and infrastructure are poorly distributed. The resources meant for these vital areas in a human life are poorly distributed. In a way that you can talk about the Mombasa Expressway, whereby resources are gonna be allocated for the expressway, and you see, there are much more pressing issues in Kenya than building
an expressway.
Yeah, right?
There are people dying in Turkana,
exactly.
Mine in Northeastern, where they complain the lack of water. Whereby lunch meat, whereby they must give priority to the first basic thing. If you have food, water, and medicine, you can say at the end of the day the government is serving you, but at the end of the day you don't have access to food, you don't have access to health care, infrastructure, your roads are poorly done. So that for instance we can say that that's how bad leadership has killed more people than war. Because if you don't have food already, people are dying. Access to health care in the maternities, for you to deliver, you must have cleared the health insurance for about a year. If you don't have that money at the moment, and you are in a critical stage, and you don't have any source of supporting you that to pay the medical health care, you find that people die at the hospital, but you will not know. Yeah, that's how the system has ignored.
You see, in Kenya, Amambia, to add on that, in Kenya we have a lot of resources. We can agree on that as a nation, right? But now the management of these resources is what is lacking. You see, we need to first of all prioritize some areas. For example, food security, right?
Yes.
Then we come to education, health, and then maybe development, and so on and so forth. But what happens? You find a person would rather want to build JKIA, an airport that is already existing and that is already serving millions of people, than secure food sources for the Kenyan people. Now, when we talk about resource mismanagement, the Kenyan population needs to understand that in Kenya, we don't lack enough resources. Actually, we have more than a surplus of it. What happens is that the people occupying those power positions, they mismanage and they misallocate, as well as they embezzle those resources, so that you, the common mwananchi, haupati kitu. Unashangaje mbona rais anapeana state of the nation iko inafanya kazi, like last year you remember how Ruto gave
even recently, it was just the other day, it was yesterday, or the state of the nation.
I'm talking about the other one, Yes, the last year one. Whereby Ruto gave a state of the nation that was out of touch. Now you see what happens is that people on the ground don't see the progress that the government is parading, simply because your resources that have been allocated to take care of you and your loved ones has been embezzled. It has been mismanaged, misallocated to maybe buying luxurious cars, getting flashy offices, wearing classical watches and designer shoes. Now let's get to the fourth factor that makes a major headline when it comes to bad leadership, killing massive people. We have the ignorance or ideology over science. Ignorance is whereby there is a factual statement that can be proven to be true, but the leading position gets to ignore it. Right?
Yeah.
Omambia.
Yeah.
Policies are made, then they ignore evidence or experts.
Yeah.
What do you have to comment on that?
In Kenya we have experts in everything, even in cybersecurity, in healthcare. But when it comes to making decisions, I don't know what happens, because you cannot tell me out of 50 million we don't have experts in different fields. For example, in the healthcare, we are in a quagmire and a Mandarin. What's happening? For example, in our Asian systems, if experts could be involved, we could be much ahead. But those people ignore the set line policies and guidelines, and they do the way they like. So that has affected us as the common Kenyan, whereby the set standards of doing something are not adhered to. Yeah. For example, if a contractor has been given a contract to construct a road, whereby it's a 6-lane, 7-lane, but on the ground, if you come, you find it's a grade 2, grade 4 tarmac. Yeah, it's already delivered a substandard community, because maybe the policies that were implemented and they've been ignored. That's why we have where we get substandard products, because of ignoring policies. Yeah, even in the healthcare, if those policies could be adhered to, we could not have this crisis that we are experiencing at the moment in the healthcare, and also in education, in everywhere. So in case if leaders ignore the policies, it affects us. Yeah. So say that policies should be adhered to. Yeah, and then if you don't adhere to these policies, there are consequences and lessons. I guess my colleague here will indulge on the consequences and lessons of bad leadership. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Now, Omambia.
Yes.
When we talk about consequences, these are the effective outcomes of bad leadership.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
The lessons that we learn. The consequences are profound, to be honest. Societies lose trust in institutions, they lose trust in public departments, they lose trust in government itself. Economies collapse in nations because of bad leadership, and we have generational trauma spreading across generations, simply because a person in a leadership position made a decision to run a country or a department or an institution like a chicken pen. Now, Omambia.
Yes.
Awareness is the first step to correcting or rectifying.
The conscious.
Yes.
Conscious.
By studying history and holding leaders accountable, citizens can reduce the impact of poor governance, potentially saving more lives than any peace treaty or ceasefire that can. What do we mean by this? Holding leaders into account means that your area MCA has to account to that position. What has he done since you elected him or her into office? Can he or she show for it? What as your governor or your area MP or your minister, your senator, your women rep, or your president, what has he done that has impacted you personally, individually, positively?
And to add on that, I would say that akili ya mjinga ndio fraya ya ambao wanatuongoza. Ukikuwa mjinga, people take advantage of you. Yeah, that's where we are emphasizing that be aware. And being aware is that we should read our constitution, should be aware of the guidelines and policies that are present, and be strong be strong and bold. People should not be in a cocoon that if you say this, something should happen.
Let us demand for accountability.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Mr. President.
Yeah.
You've taken almost 4 trillion.
Yeah. In a span of 2 years.
In a span of 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
What can you show for it? Yeah.
Yes.
If it's nothing, then wananchi tunasema one time. Hata viongozi wenye wanakwambia two time anywhere, ukiwasikiza they are not gonna vote like we are. Votes zao ziko countable, zetu they are numerous. Jua kwamba when you're given a chance to lead, it is a chance to serve, not to indulge yourself in self-interesting aspects. Ukipewa nafasi ya kuongoza nchi ama kuongoza pahali fulani, tumia nafasi to better the lives of the common people.
Yeah.
Sindio?
Yeah.
Bad leadership isn't a theoretical problem, people. It is real. It is measurable and it is deadly. And while wars make headlines, policy failure and corruption quietly claim more lives. This is a proven fact. We can see it from everywhere around us. You see why Tanzania had a massacre recently because of bad policies and bad leadership. The woman there wanted so bad to lead the people that she didn't get to take into account what the people wanted. The people wanted a democratic process of electing the new leader. The leader in position thought it twice to install a dictatorial measure so that she could retain power. The result was massive deaths. There were massive graves dug. People, a lot of people, sources, reliable sources claim up to 3,000 people died in the Tanzanian massacre. What I would want to dodge this piece of information and relate it to the political Monday setting is that people need to stay informed. They need to stay alerted. They need to question authority. You need to demand transparency, because knowledge and civic information are our best weapons against systemic harm. By doing this, we will have a transparent nation. We will hold our leaders into account, and then the leaders, when they get to fear wewe mwananchi, wakianza kuona kwamba umegutuka, umeamka, umekumbuka kwamba hii barabara ya MP wangu hajaifanya, and it is his role or responsibility to do that. Governor yangu hajaeka street lights. Security kwangu Marsabit ni ngori. The president himself, kuna banditry inaendelea. The leader in the internal security docket is sleeping. Corruption is skyrocketing. All these things we're mentioning, they are as a result of bad
leadership.
Isn't it, Omanga?
Yeah.
What can you add on that?
The thing that we are in this quagmire, this situation of bad leadership, is because this leadership was handed to us without even proper training, proper management. For example, I cannot give you a factory, don't train you how to manage that factory. You know, if I give you, for example, it's a cotton making industry whereby we have the genius to make your clothes. If you don't have formal education of running that thing just collapse and it, because I have not guided you on how to operate it. So I'll say thank you for watching Political Monday. Subscribe and share this episode and join the conversation online. Your voice matters. Yeah.
Yes, on your voice mattering.
Yeah.
Omambia,
Yeah.
tell the people,
Yes.
tell the Kenyan wananchi kwamba their vote is their voice. Si ndio? Kura yako ndo sauti yako. When you have that vote, don't go for the 500, 200, 1,000 token that you're gonna be given for that day. You see, when you're given 1,000 bob, you're given 500 or 200 or whichever the amount you're being given, that person is parting with a little of his money, but he or she is gonna enslave you for 5 or more years. This means when you have that vote, wewe ndo unaeka huyu mtu na bad leadership qualities zake mamlakani, na wewe ndo utadetermine kama atachukua ushukani ama atenda nyumbani. When you see that policies and ideologies are not aligning with your principles and thoughts, you should underline the word you should.
Yeah, don't be taken for a ride.
Don't be taken for a ride. Do not follow the tide. Wewe mwenyewe unafaa ujue kwamba huyu mtu nimemuona na namjua hivi na nimeona sera zake, they can be helpful to me and to my society. Then that is the kind of person you're gonna vote for. Kwa saa hii tunasema ni one term. Sisi wote kama wananchi. That is a fact. Whether they like it, the political and ruling class, whether they like it or they don't, we don't want to see a repeat of this scenario.
Ever.
I've never seen a heartless, so demonic, so diverging, so divisive regime than I have seen today. So what we want to tell you is that wananchi wote tukiwa pamoja kwa sauti moja, tupigie viongozi walio na uwezo wa kutupeleka mbele kama nchi, kama society, kama constituency, kama county ama kama ward. That is the only way we can get rid of bad leadership and we can have a progressive nation or a society. Thanks for watching again. And link us up on our all social media platforms. You can list them and tell them the handle, Omambia.
First, we have our YouTube channel at Beyond the Noise 59.
Actually, tell them it's skyrocketing. It's at 40 subscribers. Na tulianza juzi.
Within
so
1 month.
Keep it going. Tafadhali subscribe, comment, share na like.
We also have an Instagram channel.
Yes.
If you are active on Instagram, you can find us there.
At Beyond the Noise 59 everywhere. Beyond the Noise 59. Tusaidie tupitishe injili, si ndio? We spread the word.
We spread the word, educating people, see the light beyond the tunnel.
Thank you. Adios.
Muchachos. Peace.